It's Summerween.
It's Summerween, 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 Summerween. So yeah, summer solstice was the 21st. Oh, hi. Welcome to our paranormal true crime podcast, Death Before Booze. I'm Sam.
I'm Jen.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, Sam.
So as I was saying, summer solstice was the 21st?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds right? Sounds right.
Sounds
So it is currently 1,007 degrees here in New England. We are dying. Please send help. Send your air conditioners. Send your ice. Send your little penguins. I hate it here. And in case you didn't pick up on what our topic is, this is Chix Pix 7. This is our 7th Chix Pick.
Yes.
And our theme is Summerween.
Summerween.
Summerween. So, yay! Summerween.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, very excited.
So of course, with the Summerween, I'm like, we're going to come in hot today. And hot because it's hot outside.
Oh my God, what a dad joke.
I can't with this weather. It's making my head ridiculous.
Oh my God. I'm melting as we speak.
I know.
So we should just start. So I'm not going to make it through the whole episode if we don't start soon.
Oh my gosh. So for this one, I actually was looking through Facebook and I was looking through groups because Sam and I always say that we're we're a small podcast, but if there are ways that we can get, like smaller stories out there and maybe get extra help, that's kind of what I browse for because we get the heavy hitters and stuff that I've done, but at the same time I want to make sure that if we can get more eyes on something, maybe we can help. We're not crime junkie, okay? We're not gonna
help quote
change the
Robert
world.
Stack. Maybe you can help solve a mystery.
Yes. And that's what I'm going to talk about today.
We're going to do. Oh my gosh, I'm going to figure it out right. And do you ever, every time you do this in my head, I'm like, I'm going to figure it out right now. Here we go. I'm figuring it out.
Literally, every time it's unsolved, I'm like, all right, let's
go.
Let me.
I got this. I probably don't got this, but I want to pretend I do because maybe I can make a difference.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because this case is from New Jersey. So for our New Jersey peeps,
I'm from there.
This might be something that people have heard about, but also it's still unsolved. So I'm hoping that maybe we can get a little bit of publicity and maybe we get some justice for her family. So I'm talking about today Shanaya Coley.
Okay.
So Shanaya was born January 24th, 1993 in Passaic. Passaic. There you go. All right.
That's where I was born.
New Jersey.
I was born in Passaic, New Jersey.
Nice.
Passaic General. Hey.
To Rachel and Willie, she started school at St. Teresa's Roman Catholic Church, and she was very religious and spiritual. She then graduated from Patterson Charter School of Science and Technology, so super smart.
Oh my gosh, I know that place.
Love it. And she started to take classes at Passaic County Community College.
Excellent.
Smarty. So she worked as a home health aide at Eastern Christian Children's Retreat. I don't know if you've heard of
that.
Yes. Like Sam's face is going like, yeah.
Okay, so Eastern Christian High School. I don't really know if they are connected. I kind of think they are, though. Eastern Christian was right in front of my college, Felician College, in Lodi.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So like, it's all the area that we're talking about.
Yeah, very well. Got lost there a lot.
Yeah.
Got drunk there a lot. Don't tell my mom. It's okay.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
So she worked here at the same time she was attending classes. People had said she was very fun. She was a loving soul who loved listening to music, taking selfies, and she was a great mom to her 4-year-old son, Amir.
Aww.
Who is adorable. I've seen pictures. He's super cute. So
I'm going to get really upset today, aren't I?
I know. I'm sorry, but I'm hoping we can get... She seemed like a great person, and she's smart. She's doing all these great things. She's a single mom, killing it, so taking classes too, so it just seemed like, I don't know. So December 5th, 2017, so not too far ago, She was working the night shift, so she headed out. Unfortunately, she never made it to work, and she never made it home. They did find in the parking lot of her apartment complex her glasses and a puddle of blood.
No, don't like that.
But her and her car were not found.
Where was her apartment?
I don't know exactly, but I'm going to be doing a couple of landmarks.
Okay.
Oh, it was in not Patterson. Patterson's where another part of this story, but she's not that far from it, like a mile from it.
Like West Patterson? Little Falls?
Maybe.
Like that side?
Maybe.
You don't really know.
Like that kind of area. So
okay.
So her mom, of course, reported her missing. They started to distribute flyers, and actually a billboard was donated over the MacArthur Highway in Newark, being like, have you seen her?
Okay.
So a $6,000 reward was offered for information, hoping that this would lead to finding Shanaya. Now, months go by. February 2018, still no word and no leads.
Okay.
The local community, their leaders and organizations reached out and were like, hey, we want to help. We want to help, fundraise. We want to do what we can. So they actually organized a fundraising dinner where money would go to support her son.
Okay.
And it was noted that 30 tickets sold within 15 minutes of going on sale. So this was
amazing.
Yeah.
The community was really stepping in.
Yes, because again, we know, unfortunately, and we say this a lot, not only women, but women of color, their cases don't always get
the attention they deserve.
What they deserve.
Yeah.
So, and knowing that she is a single mom, and yes, she's got amazing parents to take care of her son.
You still want your mom. Yeah.
He's still mom. So there was still at this point, because I had seen a lot of news pieces from YouTube and all kinds of like really past articles, there was still hope that, okay, something happened. There's no leads on anything, but we still want to know. There's hope that she's still alive.
Somebody knows something. Mm-hmm. You just need, as much as it's always somebody knows something, you want one of the outskirt people who kind of overheard something to be like, hey, I heard this, maybe go and just, you just need a direction. That's all you need in a case like this.
Exactly. Because it seems as though, for whatever reason, I think I get to it. Of course, the parking garage, they weren't able to get good enough footage, and some of the cameras, of course, weren't working, because you know how that always goes.
Yeah.
So, now fast forward to May in 2018. At an apartment complex in Patterson, so less than a mile away from her residence, a car had been left unattended for 5 months. This was reported to the property owner in December when it was left there. And the property owner issued statements to all the tenants saying, listen, unattended vehicles are going to be towed, so make sure you get your shit out of here, blah, blah, blah. They didn't really press the issue after that. The car stayed where it was. It also so happened that the vehicle was parked in an unassigned space. So maybe that's also why they didn't act on it faster. But so months go by, car's still there. The people in the complex are like, all right, this is still kind of weird, but you know what? No one's doing shit, so whatever. Wildrado Morales, who is a resident of the complex, was like, all right, whatever. He parked next to this vehicle because his spot's next to it. He's like, whatever the case is, I don't know who this thing is. All of a sudden, though, he started to notice a really bad smell coming from the car.
Because it was winter and now it's summer and it's warming up. Ugh, oh my God. Oh my God,
so
no.
He initially thought it was a dead animal, so he's like, all right, you know what, whatever. But then he started to see flies kind of hovering around the vehicle.
Don't like it.
And he's like, all right, this isn't just a dead cat type of situation.
No.
So he calls police because, you know what? Good on you, because I would do the same. I'd be like, I'm not going to.
I'm so sorry. Finally, you're reporting on somebody with a brain. It's not that hard to pick up your phone and call the non-emergency line and be like, hey, can you just look at this? Because...
And it might be nothing.
But you'd rather... You'd rather...
I'd rather it be nothing.
Yeah. You'd rather the cops show up and be like, all right, we'll just get it towed for you, NBD. Than...
Exactly. Especially because the freaking complex owner had said months ago that he was going to tow the car and never did. So, all right.
It's kind of better if you think about it. Imagine if it ended up in a tow lot.
Yeah. No,
where
that's
it could
true,
have been like buried in the back corner and nobody would have known.
You know what? I didn't think of it that way because honestly, when you think about it, you're like, okay, well, it goes in the tow lot. You see who it's registered to.
Oh,
but you're right. Maybe
that might have.
Maybe you're like,
oh, that
whatever.
might have hit flags a little sooner.
It could have, but also it could have been a matter of like, all right, we're just towing this and it's going to get whatever. So that could be the case too.
Yeah, who knows?
So when the officers arrive, they see that it's a gray Nissan Altima, which was registered to Shanaya.
Okay.
When they approached the vehicle, they saw what appeared to be a body in the back seat covered in a blanket.
I'm sorry. What was the dude's name? You parked next to this car for 5 months
you didn't,
and
look?
You didn't look? I'm sorry.
I'm not trying.
Dude, okay, I just paid this man an amazing compliment.
You did. You did.
I need to learn to keep my mouth shut until I have all the facts. Because how the fuck are you not looking in this car? You can't tell me you weren't nosy. You're in fucking Patterson. Everybody's nosy. Everybody acts like, oh, keep your eyes on the ground. Don't make eye contact. Bitch, you know I'm fucking looking. The car's been here for more than 3 days and I don't know whose it is. Bitch, whose is this? I'm looking inside, got my hands like this, looking for a letter, a name, a something.
Looking for like, what is it? Is it a female's car? Is it a male's
this
car?
Like,
what's this person all about?
A booty call? Like, hey.
Like,
oh
you know,
my
and
God.
it happens where you park next to someone and you're kind of like, you don't mean to, but sometimes you do look in their back seat. You're kind of like, what's going on?
I park at McDonald's. People are sitting in the car eating like elbows deep in their French fries, and I'm looking in their car like, bitch, what did you get? Maybe I want that instead of my normal Big Mac French fry with a spicy Sprite. Like,
did you get what kind of sauce did you get for the McNuggets? Is it good?
Yeah, that
better
smells really good. How was their double today? Their double's good. Should I get that instead? I don't know. Did you get a McFlurry? Does the ice cream machine work? Like,
exactly. Like, no, you're right. You're right.
How do you
like,
not
and that's
look in the car?
You're right, because it's not like the windows were blacked out. Okay, and if it is the body's on the back seat, still it's a big enough lump that you're like,
that's suspicious.
Yes.
Dude, people need to be nosier in this world. We need more Gladys fucking what's-her-face from that show.
Kravitz.
Yeah. We need more Gladys Kravitz in the world. Abner, did you see what she did this time? Like, we need more of them.
That car's still there.
See something, say something. See something, say something.
Agreed. So, unfortunately, when they did, of course, tow the car, and the body did belong to Shanaya.
Oh, my heart.
So,
my heart.
And she's been there for 5 months. So it kind of seemed like they thought she's been here and she never made it to work. So she was carjacked, kidnapped in her own vehicle, and then she ended up here.
So she was carjacked, but they didn't take the car?
They took her vehicle. So I guess like what?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, you think they would have dropped the body? No offense. Like, I'm
but you're right.
What was the? Obviously, this is unsolved, so we probably don't know what the purpose was.
We don't, unfortunately. So spoiler. But she said when they autopsied the body, she had died from puncture and incision wounds, and it was declared a homicide.
Puncture and incision. Wait. What? Like, somebody, played operation on her?
I'm assuming it's more like knife, like a stabbing. And like...
I don't like it.
I didn't get like a lot of details on that, but at the same time, I feel like...
We don't really need to put that part out there. Yeah. It's baffling to me, but you're right. We don't need to put that energy out there. I'm sorry I asked.
So, no, witnesses came forward to say that they saw some kind of assault taking place in the parking lot when she was leaving for work.
So we said this 5 months
Witnesses-
later? 5 months later?
Yeah.
Not 5 months previous when it actually happened, and we could have called the police and been like, hey, yo, something happened to my girl over here. Like,
Yeah, I know.
okay. Okay.
You're right. Fucking say something.
See something. Like, I fucking can't. So, okay. Did either the parking lot where she lived and got carjacked or where the car was found, somebody had a camera at all?
Well,
Okay. There's a well. There's a possibility. Go ahead.
there's a possibility, but another witness said they reported hearing a woman screaming and putting up a fight again that night.
Well, at least good on you for putting on a fight.
Then the assault got more violent and the suspect pulled out a knife. They stabbed her and pushed her into her own vehicle, and then they drove off. Again, you see this. I know. Sam just has her mouth open, and I don't know. I mean,
I can't talk.
To me, this is literally like, I know that you're right. Like, nowadays, people like to stay much like, okay, it's not my business. But
That's
this is
something
exactly
that is
the
your
bystander
business.
effect.
That is your
This
business.
is the bystander effect. This is it. This is like, you want an example of it? This is it. Like, it is your problem because somebody just got stabbed and pushed into a vehicle. There is nothing that's just like, oh, maybe it's a YouTube prank or blah, blah, blah. No.
No. If you don't see huge lights and a fucking trailer with some fucking, camera equipment, call the
Agreed.
police. And even if you do, fuck it. Call the police. Let them tell you, no, there's a permit. It's fine. Like, again, what
Agreed.
does it hurt? Like, kids fucking around. If you see kids are fucking around and they're screaming and whatever, I'd still watch them for a minute. But if you can actually say, I heard someone blood curdle scream, putting up a fight, and then I saw a knife, just call 911. It's 3 little numbers. They answer relatively quickly.
Mm-hmm. And all you have to do, and the fact that what was left behind were her glasses and blood, I don't care if you're not close and you don't talk to people in the apartment building. You're right. You have a responsibility.
I'm so upset right now.
I know. And what's even more frustrating is now it's 5 months later, okay? So any evidence that could have been detected, not there. But they did try. So there were cameras in the Walgreens parking lot that recorded the car leaving.
Okay.
But they didn't see the attack, and it's her car. So
But it wasn't
also
her
searched-
driving it. Did they get a picture of who was driving? Of
they
course not.
searched,
It's
but they
Walgreens.
couldn't. No. Yeah, they couldn't. So they searched for clues to identify the killer. Again, we're going to make the assumption. I know that we don't want to assume, but we're going to assume it's a male. It could be a female. I'm not going to test that, but I'm, usually. Whatever. Anyway, so authorities have not discussed any details in the case, including surveillance footage or interviews, as they did not want to jeopardize the case. So this is in 2018.
Okay.
It has been said that Rachel, Shanaya's mom, is in constant contact with the mayor and city council members who also provided support. I also wanted to mention this tidbit because from an article, some sources say Shanaya's father had mentioned she had a restraining order out on somebody, but the family said this is false.
Okay.
So I don't know, so if you're looking into this and you're looking into articles, that's not the case, because I actually did look at the Facebook group too. So if you check her Facebook group out, her friends and family run it. It's called Who Murdered Shanaya Coley. And we'll, make sure that you guys can link it or whatever. But an article was posted and people were like, well, who's this person? And they're like, it wasn't real. So I don't know where they got that information from. But
somebody ran with an idea.
Exactly. So now here we are, years after her abduction and her murder, and we have no answers. So according to an article, Paterson, New Jersey has had 12 homicides in 12 months from December 2017 to November 2018.
That's it?
That's a lot. Yeah. And
sorry,
only
Patterson?
half of them.
I'm so sorry. Patterson is a hard place. Like, it is not... There are parts of Patterson that are beautiful, and then, like, Patterson is known to be a very hard place to live.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you're saying... Like, when you said, you know, her car was ditched in Patterson, it kind of checks to me. But the fact that there's only been 12... Way to be, Patterson. You're bringing it down. You're bringing it back. Like...
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, compared
only
to
half... Right. And only half of them have... police have arrested suspects. So out of those 12 homicides that happened in that year span, only 6 actually had arrests. So Shanaya is not the only one.
Now, wait, were they arrests that were brought to trial and convictions, or just arrests? Was that information available?
It just said arrested.
Got it.
So I didn't look any further. But again, as I mentioned before, friends and family run the Facebook group. And actually her friend on there has reached out through Facebook to the New Jersey mayor, Andre Siege, to remind him yearly of this tragedy so that nobody forgets. She tags him and is like, hey.
The Patterson mayor? Is that what you're saying? Mayor?
Yes, I think that.
Mayor?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah.
So she tags him yearly around the time of her disappearance and is like, hey, just so you know, we're still looking for answers. I've contacted your office and whatever. And it's really heartbreaking because when you look at the comments, people are like, you know what? They just don't give a shit. And that's not fair because her son has to grow up without a mom. There's something to this. And like, yes, it took 5 freaking months for someone to be like, oh yeah, I remember that night. Thank you. Unfortunately, at this point, there's just, the evidence is so few and far between. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, I know there's got to be something more to this. So maybe because we have some people in New Jersey, we can perhaps see if somebody maybe knows something. And maybe we can try a little harder. So her friends have reached out to the mayor, but if you know anything, you can call the prosecutor's office tip line at 1-877-370-PCPO or email tip at PASSIACCOUNTYNJ.org. You can also contact the Patterson Police at 973-321-1120. Again, the mayor does have a Facebook. You know he's seeing this. So it's heartbreaking because her friend every year, like you look at the Facebook group and it's not always updated because there aren't updates on the case, but every year she posts something new. And mom is still, again, like, they're taking care of her son. Her son's older now. Yeah. And it makes me sad. So again, we're not Crime Junkie. We're not one of those big places that are going to get a lot of ears and eyes on this. But maybe if you're from New Jersey, you've heard of this case, and maybe somebody from Patterson wants to, I don't know, say something, and maybe you saw something, and maybe now is the time. Whatever it is, she deserves justice. Her family deserves justice. And yeah, so.
Okay, Garfield, you a butt Passaic. If anybody knows anybody, or, you know, Garfield people, Amanda, Steffi, I'm trying to think off now the second I need to remember people who listen. Whoever you are, all the people went to Garfield High, you know, spread this around, put it on your Facebooks, put it on your InstaWebs, put it on whatever. Somebody knows something. Somebody knows something. If anything, just for some closure for her son. Like, let's just spread the word a little bit more. And get a resurgence.
Sam and I are going to tag another Facebook group called Black People Missing Black People, I do believe. And they are their case, like every case that they also post is heartbreaking, but how I actually came across Shanaya's case is through them. So share it, go to her site, share her stuff. She was beautiful, smart, an amazing mother. She deserves to have some kind of closure to this, other than just somebody dumped her in a car for 5 months and nobody freaking said anything.
I think that's the thing that like really pisses me off the most about most of your stories. Is like,
I agree.
When we have a story like this, it's like, you fucking kidding? Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
Would it really have hurt you just to call 911 in that second? Like,
even if you're just like, hey, I don't know what's going on, but like, I know that this is the car. I know my neighbor's car.
Like,
I don't know. So at the very least, they could have put a bolo out on the car. Like,
even if, okay, so if you're in Patterson and you're afraid of gang violence, how
that's
the
probably
fuck?
what.
No, I'm sorry. If you called 911, how the fuck are they going to know it was you? There are how many
That's
people
fair.
in this apartment complex? I mean, I don't know what apartment complex it was to be like, oh, it was a big one or a small one, or even Passaic. Like, okay, maybe it was gang violence from Passaic, or it, you know, filtered in from Newark, Patterson, what have you. I don't know. Even if it was gang violence, heaven forbid, there's no way for the gang or gang member or whomever to know who called 911.
I agree.
How are they going to know? How are they going to know?
I think that's also the consensus. A lot of people were like, somebody knows something, but people are afraid to talk. Like, the streets are talking, but they're afraid to say anything. And I listen, I get it, because as I don't know the area, but if it is, you know, a gang related type of thing, just whatever, I get being scared, but you're right. How are they going to trace it back to you if it's anonymous? Go in through the tip line and just stay anonymous. Yeah. That's fine.
You don't have to give your name. You don't have to, like, help this kid get some closure. That's so, this family, this mom, this dad, like, oh, my heart.
I know.
Ugh. Now I feel bad about covering my story. You know, we had this great idea that Jen was going to tell horrible stories first so I could, like, make it a little bit funnier with my, like, because people, it's ghosts, and a lot of them are very old, or cryptids, or there's a little more humor in my end that we can do, because, you know, what the fuck, are they going to come and, like, haunt me now? But then there's cases like this where I'm like, shit, now I gotta, like, now I have to bring up the rear after being so down.
I know.
Okay, so to keep in theme with Summerween, I am covering the SummerWind Mansion.
Ooh.
Okay. So I'm going to cover this a little bit different than my normal stories, because the ghost stories are kind of just embedded within the history of everything. So let's go. Yeah. SummerWind Mansion. In the beginning, the site was a bed and breakfast, and it was called the West Bay Lake Fishing Lodge. It catered to hunters and fishing peoples, and it was situated on the bay, on the edge of West Bay Lake in Vilas County in northeastern Wisconsin.
Oh.
Yeah, so very cold in the winter. Very cold. So SummerWind Mansion was built in the original, like, bed and breakfasty thing, was built in 1918, and it was originally referred to as the Lamont Mansion. And that's because in 1916, U.S. Secretary of Commerce Robert Patterson Lamont purchased the property and the 80 acres around said property and converted the lodge into a mansion. So we're very original with the Lamont Mansion. Yeah. So we converted the lodge, and then we built on servants' quarters and attached it to the lodge. The mansion faced the lake, and it had a dock for boats. The master bedroom was above the kitchen, facing the driveway. There were 3 large chimneys, guest quarters, a large basement, and like I said, the building next to it was affixed, and the servants lived there. At that time period where this mansion was, it was very desolate. You know, it was kind of on the edge of the lake, very hard to get to, especially when it was winter. You know, they didn't really have like an asphalt road that went to it. It was still kind of, you know, dirtish type road. And when it did snow, we had a really hard time getting in and out. So I'm kind of picturing A Misery situation.
Yeah,
A little bit of
that's kind of where I
Stephen
was
King's The Shining. You know, like that's
I was
kind
kind
of
of doing. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going.
yeah. There were no major murders here. Like, I'm not going down that route, but a little creepy. So, at some point, after Lamont and his servants lived there for a while, the servants started talking about seeing a translucent woman walking around the mansion's driveway. And he's like, okay, guys, okay. I think you've been cooped up here a little too long. You've been sniffing the mercury a little bit. Like, let's calm down. Can't be that big a deal. Then one night, him and his wife are sitting there eating dinner on the first floor in the dining room, and they hear the basement door kind of sort of moving around. It didn't actually open, it didn't actually close, but there was a rumbling. And he got a little nervous because he's like, who's in my house? Who's in my basement? Who's in my house? So Lamont goes to investigate, of course, with gun in hand.
I mean, yeah.
He opens the door and he claims that he saw the ghostly form of a man, and he immediately fired 2 shots.
Did he know it was a ghost, or did he just think it was a man? Because you can't kill ghosts, right?
I'm
Like,
kind
was he
of
like,
thinking,
holy shit, a ghost?
I'm kind of thinking he went into this like, all right, I hear something. I'm going to go investigate.
shoot.
And then when he saw like a something in front of him, he went, oh shit, and kind of shot the gun off. Like, I don't actually think he even
So it
went
wasn't
like, oh my God,
it's
a
a
man.
ghost.
Oh my God, an invader. Oh my God, a ghost. Like, I don't think it even registered. I think he went, oh shit, and just shot the gun. Because I'm going to be honest, if you go into something like, I hear a rustling, you know, your hackles are kind of heightened.
That's fair.
You know, he was probably not cool, calm, and collected with said gun. He just like, oh, nah, let me shoot.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah. You know, old white man, middle of nowhere, has a gun. I mean,
Right.
quacks like a duck, looks like a duck, probably shot a
Yeah.
ghost. Like, that's just how it is. So, with all the hullabaloo, the servants come in, people get called, and everybody comes to investigate. And what they find was no man, no body, but 2 bullet holes in the door. And after this said ghostly encounter, the Lamont family up and left the property and never returned.
I mean,
My favorite is that this all happened in the summertime. So it wasn't even like you could sit there and be like, oh my God, it was so cold and they were stuck there. This was their summer house. Like, they were like, nah, bitch, I'm out. Fuck it. You know, beautiful.
one encounter.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. So all the servants had to deal with this fucking woman dancing around the driveway for who knows how long. This guy gets one glimpse at what he thinks could be a male figure, and he's like, nope, can't take this anymore. We're done. We're out. We're leaving. Go figure. Oh, a white man in politics? Wonder what that sounds like. Anyway, moving on. So the property stayed vacant for decades. The mansion remained in the family until Lamont finally died in 1948. And the mansion kind of sold several times from there until finally Mr. and Mrs. Kiefer purchased the property. Don't ask me when that was. I don't remember. It was in like the 1960s. So Mrs. Kiefer immediately reported not feeling welcome or safe in the house. She believed the house was haunted immediately. Husband bought the house. They walked in. She's like, don't love this. She left the mansion, leaving all of her belongings, food, clothes, furniture, everything, left it there. Oh, wait, this wasn't the 60s. That's a different thing. So the Kiefers, Miss Kiefer, not loving it, fuck it, left the mansion, left all of her shit. And she told the neighbors, go in there, take what you want, because I'm not coming back, but I'm not responsible while you're there. If you go into that house and you go to pillage my shit, I'm not responsible for what happens to you. Take what you want. But bitch, my hands are up.
What about her husband? Was he like, no, I'm staying?
What a great question.
Or was he like, no?
Maybe he died. I don't know where he went.
We'll just assume that he went with her because she's like, I'm fucking leaving. And he's like, I guess so. I guess I gotta
Yeah,
go.
I'm leaving and you're coming with me. That sounds about right. Let's be real.
That sounds right.
Okay. So then in 1969, Arnold and Ginger Hinshaw bought the mansion from the Kiefers. So it was around that time. Okay. And they moved in with their 6 children. Sorry, Jen, I'm stealing your thunder. And they stayed there for a whole 6 months. So that's 1 month for each kid. So the Hinshaws reported seeing the ghost of a woman floating back and forth past the French doors off the dining room. They were seeing vague shapes and shadows throughout the hallways in the house. And then they claimed to hear muffled voices in empty rooms. But then when they would walk towards those rooms or walk around the house or anywhere near it, the sounds would just stop.
Okay.
I hate it. Windows and doors would open and shut on their own. And then there was one particular window that Arnold had to nail shut because it would just open and close and open and close and open and close and open and close and open and close. And finally he said, fuck this shit, got some long nails, and beat the fucker in. Like, that was it.
I mean, you know what? That's fair. What would be even creepier is if after that it was like, and it opened up again. I'd be like, you know what? Oh, I'd be like, nope.
Imagine if, like, you know, and the nails were just sitting on the floor, like, in a line. Oh, I hate it. I just gave myself the creeps. I just gave myself goose pimples. It is 100 million degrees in my room, and I am, like, freaking the fuck out. Why did I say that? Sam, keep your mouth shut. I said it in your story. You think I would fucking learn?
Uh-huh.
I don't learn. No, I never learn. Never fucking learn. Oh, okay. So then 2 appliances, the hot water heater, and a water pump all broke down at the same exact time.
All right. I mean,
so they called the service guy in. Hey, guy,
nope.
We're going to pay you a lot of money. Come here and fix my stuff. Immediately after they hung up the phone and planned everything, it all started working again magically.
So they don't want other people in the house, I assume. Or they're just like,
we made you conquer your phone anxiety. You had to call somebody.
You had to call someone to fix it.
Yeah, you had to talk to a stranger on the phone. Neener, neener. That would be the ghost in my house.
Yeah, no, I agree. Mine too.
Yeah, right? So, okay, so now they're doing renovations, and they were a little, not poor, but they weren't hiring people to come in and do renovations. They didn't want to spend the money. So Arnold was doing a lot of the renovations himself. So he went into one closet, and he's painting. And he finds, so there are built-in, how do I explain this? So there are built-in drawers in the wall. So he's pulling out the drawers, and as he pulls out one of the drawers, he sees like this weird hole in the drawer in the wall. Does that make sense? Like what I'm saying? So like there's the hole where the drawer goes, and then like alongside of it into the wall there's another hole.
Okay, so there's going to be like a little mystery room.
Yeah, so there's like a mystery hole in this fucking wall. So
good. That's great.
Yeah, it's great. So he tries to like get himself into the drawer to look into the hole because of course. See, here's the Gladys Kravitz that we needed in your story, because this guy can't wait to stick his head into a place where it doesn't fit. Like, figure cats have whiskers for a reason, bro. Imagine if he got stuck. Get the fuck out. So, okay. So he's trying to, like, wedge himself in here to look in the hole, and he just can't do it. So his kids are on their way home from school, and as his daughter Mary comes home,
let them do it.
He goes, Mary, grab a flashlight and get up here. She's the smallest one. So he goes, all right, you're going to do Daddy a favor. You're going to get your flashlight. I'm going to put you in the hole, and you're going to tell me what's in there. So she gets in this hole and immediately starts screaming. Bloody murder. Get me the fuck out. I'm sure she's not cursing, but she's like, oh my God, get me out. So she gets out. She runs from the room, goes downstairs, and is hysterically crying. And the mom's like, what the fuck did you do to her? She says she found a human skull with black hair, a brown arm, and a portion of a leg, all in this crawl space. Now, here's the part where they are not like our Gladys, because they also did not report anything to police. And the skull was never seen again.
There is a possible dead body in your
wall. Like it's in your room. Because this is in a closet in your room or in a room. That would not be my room.
I would never sleep in that room.
I would rather sleep on the hardwood floor in the dining room where the woman in white is walking by. You know what? I bet it's the woman in white.
That's probably
who it is. Okay, well, we don't report it to police, and unfortunately, the skull is never seen again. But after these remains are found, things start getting worse. So Arnold starts playing this organ. There's an organ in the house, and he starts playing it almost constantly, very late into the night, sometimes till dawn. And
one of the creepiest things you could do.
Yeah, like think Haunted Mansion, like like fucking crazy. And as the night goes on, he gets louder or more manic with his playing. So he eventually quit working because the demons in his head, or the spirits of the house, whichever version you see online, told him that he could not stop playing. He had to continue playing to prevent tragedy and peril from striking the family.
Okay.
Now, his wife and 6 children are absolutely terrified. They are horrified. Yeah. Every single night, he's sitting there just getting louder and more manic, and the sound is disjointed, and it's loud, and it's horrifying. So the kids and the mom all kind of like at night would huddle together in one of the bedrooms as far away from him as they could possibly be, and they tried to get whatever sleep they could. But now again, they're not exactly affluent people, so it's not like they can really get out of this house.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess this was before this. My notes are a little out of whack, I guess. But one day, as Arnold was walking out to his car to go to work, the vehicle burst into flames. There was no one near it, and when the police and fire department got there, no one could find a cause for the inferno.
Now is this is after the remains were found?
Yes,
or before?
This is all after the remains are found. That's
okay.
The line.
You don't want to mention to the police. Oh, by the way,
you're right. They had to come investigate your car.
Could you just like check?
Oh, by the way, there's this hole.
We found this
in the wall.
Weird. There might be remains. I don't know.
There's like a leg. Could you like go check it out? Maybe.
Like they're already there. They don't have to make a second trip.
Yeah.
Like
you would think. God, why didn't I think of that? You're absolutely right. They're fucking there. Oh my God, people are stupid.
I know.
So, after the car exploded and all these hours of playing music and whatever, Arnold finally suffers a nervous breakdown and is sent for treatment. And the day he has this nervous breakdown, unfortunately, Ginger is at the point of almost attempting suicide.
Oh,
I think what stopped her was the fact that Arnold started to really go off the deep end and got distracted. So he gets sent off for treatment, and she takes the 6 kids out of that house and is like, I'm fucking done, and goes and lives with her parents a couple hours away.
You know what? Good for her.
Yeah. So Ginger and Arnold get divorced. The property gets sold back to the Kiefer family. And Ginger starts getting her life back together. You know, some time goes by. She gets married again. She's happy. And then her father drops a bombshell.
Uh-oh.
And he goes, guys, guess what I did? I just bought SummerWind.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
He bought it because as an investment. He wanted to turn it into a bed and breakfast with a restaurant. Now, he knows Ginger's new husband knows, the mom knows that something happened in the house. But she never gave him details because she didn't want to relive it. She just said, I never want to go back to that house. I want nothing to do with it, whatever. So I guess why
would you purchase the house if you know your daughter is like, nope, never again?
I kind of think, unfortunately, that he was like, maybe she was being a little extra. You know, her husband was in the middle of having a nervous breakdown. You know, I don't think he put whatever was going on in the house contributed to his nervous breakdown. I think he thought his nervous breakdown was the memory she didn't want to talk about.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, because she
so.
didn't tell anybody. She didn't say, you know, we saw a ghost, we heard voices, the windows and doors opened and closed. You know, I don't think
there might be bodies in the wind.
I don't think
the
any
walls.
of,
I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't think she put up on the wall like, oh yeah, by the way, dead bodies. I think he kind of was like, it must have just been the memory of this. I'm going to buy the house. It's a large house. I know I can get it for cheap because the keepers don't want it. And I can make an investment for the family and build a legacy. I'm going to I'm going to turn it back into a bed and breakfast.
Okay.
We're going to build on a restaurant and everything's going to be great. So, yeah. So the dad's name I didn't write down, but his last name's Bober. So Bober claims that he spent time at the house and he knew the identity. Like, he figures it all out. He's like, okay, it's haunted. Like, the daughter finally comes clean at some point to the husband. It's her dad, her husband, and her brother. And they go here, and as she's walking through, she breaks down, and she tells them all the different things that happen in this house. She comes clean, is like, it's fucking haunted. This is the problem. I never wanted to come back here. And the minute she walked in, she automatically had all full body chills. Fuck it. I don't want to be here. Let's get the fuck out. There's a dead body in the wall. There's a woman dancing in the hallway. She's over here. There's a guy downstairs. There's fucking bullet holes. We gotta go.
We gotta go.
And she left. She didn't go back. But Bober, the dad, he claims that after spending time in the house, he knows the identity of the ghost that's haunting the place. Says his name is Jonathan Carver. He's an 18th century British explorer who was haunting the house. And apparently Carver owned the house and was searching for an old deed that he had put into the foundation of the house. And the deed was something that was given to him from the Sioux Indians, giving him the rights to a northern third of Wisconsin.
Okay.
What a tale we weave, okay?
Yeah. Where did he get that from? Did he, like... The internet wasn't a thing
No,
then.
but Bober claims that Carver asked him to help him find the document. And he started documenting all of his experiences and discussions with Carver in a book that he published in 1979 under the name of Wolfgang von Bober. And the name of it is The Carver Effect. He explains in the book his communications with Carver are through dreams, trances, and our favorite, the Ouija board.
No Ouija boards.
No.
Not in this place.
Well,
there's a dead body in the wall. For God's sakes.
Yeah, well, they never found the dead body in the wall. I'm gonna... Spoiler alert. They did a full reno. They never found this body in the wall. So it just disappeared.
So it's just... Oh, you know what? That's even better.
Even better.
It's even better.
So, unfortunately, this book is now currently out of print, and it's very hard to find. But believe me, it's on my list. So you know I'm going to get me a copy somehow, some way.
Somewhere.
Yeah, same thing with that Dorothea Puente signed fucking cookbook. I'm getting me one of them too one day. Totally off topic, but I'm going to find it. And I'm going to buy it, and it's going to be mine. Anyway, so Ginger's brother, Carl, goes to the house, basically to help his dad out. So his dad's a bit older. He's going to the house, and he goes to get some repair estimates for some work to be done. There's a guy coming out to help get rid of the bats that are in the attic. He wanted to do some yard work so he could get more people in to evaluate what was going on, get the place cleaned up a bit. So the first day he's there, it starts raining. So he goes inside and he starts closing the windows, and he's upstairs, and in the dark hallway, he hears a voice calling his name. So he looks around, but nobody's there. He closes the windows and goes downstairs, and he's like, I don't want to be up here. So he walks into the front room, and he hears what he says sounds like 2 pistol shots coming from the basement.
The basement.
So he runs into the kitchen where the basement door is, and the room is full of smoke, and it smells like gunpowder. And he is like, holy fuck, someone's in this house shooting. So Carl searches everywhere, finds nothing. But the doors are locked. Nothing is disturbed. So he's like, what the fuck? So he goes back into the kitchen to the door, and what does he find behind the wall? But 2 bullet holes.
2 bullet holes.
But the bullet holes aren't new. They are worn out. And he realizes, fuck, these are from Lamont's gun. So now he's like, shit. This must be like a recurring thing. Like the events are playing out in this house.
Right.
He stands there for a hot second, like, what the fuck is going on? Then he gets in his car, leaves, and never goes back. He's another one like, nah, man, I'm fucking done. I'm good. Thank you. Come again. Never. No. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I'm out.
It was a good investment.
Yeah, we tried.
Yeah, we tried.
So, when Carl wouldn't go back, Bobber started hiring contractors. We're going to get this place renoed. I want to make it into a bed and breakfast with a restaurant.
I don't want to go in there, but
I'm old. I'm not doing this. I'm going to hire other people. So the contractors start to complain that their tools disappear and reappear all around the house. They say that they feel like they're being watched. And a couple of times the wife, Bober's wife, goes and she says she felt like she was being watched. And when she visited, as she walked through the room, she felt like somebody was following or walking with her from room to room. So, okay. So they took pictures of the rooms too. Like while they were there, they started taking pictures of the rooms. So
that makes sense.
They took a picture of the living room and it's empty. Nobody lives there. All the shit's gone. You know, Ginger took all of her shit with her when she left. So he takes a picture of the room and he's looking at it. So he starts to compare the picture of the room to the picture of the room when Ginger lived there. And Ginger's curtains are in the picture of the room that's completely empty that Bober took.
How does that work?
I don't know. But that's creepy. And then they were taking pictures of the room to document the before and after for the reno. So as they're taking these pictures and they're measuring out the rooms, the measurements of the rooms are changing. So he measures the living room, you know, the room that has the curtains, that doesn't have the curtains. Mm-hmm. And the first time he measures it, he's like, dude, I can fit 150 people in here for the restaurant. This is going to be great. This is going to be my dining room. Then he goes back again a few days later, and he measures it again, and he can only fit 75 people. So because this happened multiple times, he finally said, fuck it. No more renovations. I'm done. We're not doing this. We're over it. So now I have to note for my own, you know, sanity, and because I am a very professional investigative reporter, and I need to tell you everything because I am so professional with this, that when Bober wrote his book, it has definitely been disproven that this guy Carver that he spoke with and received a deed from the Sioux Indians and when he quote unquote purchased the land from the Native Americans and got this deed to the time when the foundation was laid for the original bed and breakfast that was for the hunters and fishing people, there was 130 years in there. Yeah. So there's no way that some explorer named Carver
told him shit.
This story, like, he plucked it out of midair, which then also leads you to think, well, was there actually a dead body in the wall? Did they even see anything? Or was this just, unfortunately, the guy really did have a nervous breakdown? You know, the wife couldn't handle the property, and the father a few years later was like, wait, we can play this up. Like, we can make some money off of this.
Fair. But it was the daughter, right, that saw... And you know what?
It was the daughter and her
because
family.
She was the youngest. Because she was the youngest kid that saw the bones. Maybe she didn't actually see them. Maybe she saw some... Okay.
Maybe she didn't see anything at all, and they just played up this story. Because it seems that as his story started to fall apart and he was having problems keeping contractors there because, you know, now they think it's haunted. So they could have all been fucking with each other. It could have been a lot of things. I mean, you are in the middle of nowhere. The house could creak. You know, your brain could run away with you. You are a little, you know, isolated in a sense. And it turns out that at some point he requested a permit to run a concession stand on the property near the house, which was denied by the town. And it seems his plan was he was going to try to turn the place not into a bed and breakfast, but a paranormal investigation mecca, where people could come out and run Ouijas, run seances, do some paranormal investigating, and make it more of a bed and breakfast in the sense of people are going to come and investigate the property, not so much come and have a restaurant and have a nice weekend. And so now it kind of leads to believe, was it really haunted or not? The house was then sold, when all this didn't work out, to Harold Tracy in 1986 as a wedding anniversary present to his wife, Babs. And after that, because of all these stories, Life magazine featured it in the November 1980 issue, saying it was listed as one of the top 9 most terrifying sites in the United States. Now, this is a story that I'm going to throw in because I don't really know where it was. There was no date. But 2 teenage girls were canoeing near the mansion when they saw a lady in white waving to them to come ashore. So they beached their canoe and followed her to the mansion as this huge storm approached. And as soon as they got into the house, the storm broke, like fucking crazy wind, all this stuff. But as they also entered the room following the woman in white, she dematerialized in front of them.
Wow.
So the girls freaked out, stayed near the front door until the storm was over. Then they got their ass out, got back in their canoe, and rode wherever the fuck they were. Back home. Yeah. Wherever they were going. So later that summer, the girls are like, remember when, like, you know, we rode our canoe and, like, we saw that lady? Remember that? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And the other one's like, yeah, I totally remember that. And they're like, we should go check it out again. So they get in their canoe and hot girl summer rowing down back to see the thing. And they see the woman in white again. But this time when they saw her, she was waving them away. Like, don't come here.
Oh.
Go. And the girls decided maybe we should not approach. And I'm going to go with that was smart.
That's smart.
Smart girls. Don't know what would have happened to them or what could have happened to them or what was happening at the mansion. But they didn't show up. They went home and they were like, fuck this. Smart girls. See, that's what smart girls do. You go to investigate. Yes. The second that goes through, like, don't come here, they listen. Smart. Mm-hmm. So the abandoned mansion became a spot for teenagers to do teenage things. You know, drinking, smoking, sex, drugs, fast times at Ridgemont High, what have you.
Yeah.
And thrill seekers say that they would go and thrill seekers wanted to be able to say, hey, we went to this really dilapidated place and we saw a haunting, or we did this, or we did that type of thing. But unfortunately, on June 19th, 1988, 4 days after I came into the world, it's my fucking birthday month, I can say it. After I came into this beautiful world, the mansion absolutely burned to the ground. It was reported that the fire was caused by a lightning strike, but that has definitely been disputed. The property was completely overgrown with trees and underbrush all up against where the building was. But none of that burned. Only the building burned. Don't know how that happens, but you would think all of the vegetation around the house and on the property would then catch fire.
Yeah, all the...
Plus, the mansion still had functioning lightning rods. So, don't know how that happened. I think kids dropped a crack pipe, something caught fire, and that was the end.
Yeah. It is weird, but at the same... Like, the rest of it didn't catch, but
Yeah, I still don't understand how everything else didn't catch, like you said, but I think kids were in the house fucking around and something happened and it burned down. So, where was I? Okay. So a local kid, well, he wasn't a kid at the time, but a local person told paranormal investigators of Milwaukee that they received a letter from the fire marshal around the same time saying that they were going to burn down the mansion for practice. Like, you know how fire departments do that with abandoned buildings? Like, they'll use it to practice with their fire people. Yeah. Like, you know, hey, we're going to cut into the roof.
Yeah.
We're going to knock down the wall. We're going to practice with the hoses, shit like that.
Did nobody own it? Is that why they
It was
were like,
abandoned.
we're just gonna?
Yeah, at this point, it was absolutely
Okay,
abandoned.
gotcha. So that makes sense.
That could be what happened. So maybe it wasn't lightning, but actually a planned fire. But I don't understand why they wouldn't just come out and say that. Like, why is it listed as lightning strike?
That is weird.
Yeah. So as of today, only some of the stone structure still stands. 2 of the 3 chimneys, the foundation, the basement, the stone arches facing the lake, and a stairway leading to the main entrance. So like a little bit of a like front porch type deal. And that's all that's left of the SummerWind Mansion in Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, so it could have been haunted. It might not have been haunted. The land might still be haunted. I mean, people still go out and try and investigate the ruins.
Right. Well, that makes sense. It's just hard. I feel like it would be hard to investigate ruins, though.
I mean, it's the same as trying to investigate in a cemetery. I mean, it is difficult. You have, like, the nature all around you. So, like, if the wind's blowing or, you know, animals walking, running, squawking, growling, what have you. I mean, could you imagine if like a bear is like walking around and sees you in the night, but you don't see it, and then it growls and you hear that and you're like, oh my god, it's a fucking demon, and you run, and then the bear kind of like runs after you. Like, what is more terrifying, a demon or a bear?
At that point,
I mean, never meet a man, but a bear in the woods. I mean, if I had to choose a man or a bear, I really don't want either. Can I like none of the above? Like, what? Can I do something else? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
no, that's a good point too. Like,
so you're right. It's absolutely,
out there.
It's so hard to investigate. And you want to investigate at night because it takes away from extra shadows from like the sunlight and how things like that go on. You would rather have the night vision because it's a different frequency. It's easier to see orbs and shit like there's just so much that goes into scientifically.
So this is just like a pile of bricks, basically, like just some of the foundations left over. It's in a random desolate area and it's just there.
Yeah. Very much overgrown.
I mean it's a nice like place to start like a legend where people are like, hey, so if you go to that place over there. So you're right, it could be.
I mean, but the legend began before they started investigating the ruins. Like, people investigated this before it caught fire.
Yeah.
Like, when all the kids were, like, fucking around. I also read somewhere else. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to say this last little bit. I also read that there were some local kids who, like, lived in the area and knew, like, tweakers would go to the thing and they would want to fuck with them. So they would go and pretend, like, bang on the walls and, like, fuck with the tweakers or, like, shit like that. So
there was no like evidence of anything before it caught fire. Like, did anybody catch anything like with the Ouija boards and stuff, or no?
I mean, I'm absolutely positive people did, but you don't really know.
Well, you're right. It's
if
not
it's the kids. Yeah. You don't know if it was, you know, the Lamonts, the girl in white who might have died in the wall. I don't.
Who might have died in the wall? We don't know.
Could have died on the property and then got put in the wall
and then shoved in the wall. Who knows?
I mean, yeah, you never know. So what I've learned today, if you see something, say something.
I was just gonna say whether it's possible remains in a wall
or possible remains in the backseat of a car in Patterson. And I'm sorry, look in the backseat of people's cars. Like, what's the worst that happens? You make eye contact and say, "Ooh, sorry, ADD." Like. Right. There's enough of us in the world with ADD that is absolutely something you should say. Like, oh, fuck, I got ADD. I'm sorry. I wasn't even really paying attention. I hope you have a great day. And that McFlurry looks amazing. Like,
especially if something looks a little suspicious, where, again, in this case, 5 months and that.
If you are reporting to the property manager that there is a car sitting in a guest spot for 5 fucking months, bitch, you know I'm out there at night with my flashlight looking around. I might not do it during the day because, you know, I have dignity. But the second, like, I have a gummy in me and the lights go out, I'm out there with my flashlight going, like Nancy fucking Drew. Like, what's going on here?
Right. I know that's
there could be fair. Skittles in there. Like, I'm not making
Worst
light of what
case,
happened.
It's nothing. No, worst case, it's nothing. And they
Worst
say,
case, it's
okay,
nothing.
someone just. But at the same time, in this case, it was something, and you could have that vehicle. It was registered. It's not like they took the plates off of it. That's the other thing. Like, at least get the police over there and be like, who does this car belong to, so that we can like tell them to move it.
I
Like,
am so fucking angry at the human who saw it happen. Who had I don't even know who this human is, but I'm telling you, if I ever meet them, it's fucking on sight. I'm ripping you a new asshole. You will be in the corner crying. Like, you couldn't just dial 911. Hey, I just saw a major altercation in here. It was a gray Nissan running away. I can't tell you anything else, but come quick. Like, help. Like, that's what the police are for.
yeah.
I'm so mad now at that.
And if they don't come and they don't help, then that's on them. But like, you know something and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, 5 months ago I saw this. That's not helpful now. And
I'm like, okay, even if you're going to say it was gang violence and I was afraid of the gang violence and I didn't want to get targeted by a gang. Cool. How are you protected now that you're saying something 5 months later?
I agree.
Like, okay, you could have been in the same danger then as you are now because you said something anyway. So I'm sorry, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. And I do understand that there's a lot of gang violence in that area and it's not a nice neighborhood. And I mean, parts of it are fine, but like other parts are very not great. So I understand the thought process. But at the same time, fucking, like you said, you can be anonymous. You can call 911 and say, hey, I saw in this building at this property, this happened. Say what you need to say and hang up the phone. Yeah, they might know where you are and they might come find you and you could be like, that was anonymous. Like, you don't have to claim it. You gave your information.
Agreed. And even now, the tip line's still open and you can give tips anonymously, like with everything.
Oh my God.
Like
if you know anything, please call. Please call. Please, please, please. Please call anonymously. Ugh.
And like, maybe, I don't know, poke a little bit more because
let the police poke. Let the police poke. Give what information
No. I'm saying poke them a little bit more. Be
that,
like, hey,
yes. Mm-hmm.
Is this still open? Are there still things? Because apparently there's still, like, they still have it open and they're still working on it. But who knows if that's the case with unsolved cases? You don't know.
Oh my God. It makes me I'm so angry. So angry. Well, I hope you're as angry as I am, and we can do something about this. Let's
solve a goddamn crime.
Maybe you can solve a mystery. Like, here it is. Here's your chance. We put, I know it's few and far between, and Jen should really cover these more. I love how I just threw her under the bus because,
that's fine.
I'm the ghost bitch. I cover the very dead, very, haunted, very weird shit. But when Jen covers more of these, I really think there are more of us than there are of whoever these horrible humans who are creating bad situations in the world. And we should be able to solve these crimes. I understand police are absolutely overrun because there's like a million of them. But like, let's all don't fuck with cats. Let's all be those people. Like, let's sleuth a little bit. Let's figure it out. Let's close some of these things down because there are families out there that are hurting and need love. And if we could all imagine if we all put our energy into this stuff instead of all the hate mongering that's out there in the world, and we wouldn't be in a lot more of these positions that we're in now.
Yeah.
I'm going to get off my soapbox now. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so glad you joined us this week.
Guys.
I hope you all learned the same thing that we did, which is see something, say something. And if you want to know more about this case or anything else that we've covered, see pictures, the whole nine, make sure you go to our website, deathbeforebooze.com. If you're all caught up, you want to know more information or hear more of our voices, feel free to join our Patreon. It's $5 a month. I think if you pay for the year up front, you get a discount, which is fantastic. But we do understand that times are tough. Gas is going to go up a lot. So if you don't have the financial means to do that, just follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you like, share, and comment on all of our stuff. Sharing really helps. Make sure on Apple Podcasts and Spotify you like, review, subscribe, do all the things. That helps to get our name out there. If you're on YouTube watching us, hit the little bell so you know when we post new content. If you want some of our merch, feel free to follow our merch page that you can get at our website, deathbeforebooze.com. I'm sure I forgot something, but make sure you join us next week for more angry ranting from two girls from New England who are absolutely going to melt. And check in on your friends who live on the East Coast in New England, because we're dying. Make sure we're okay. Check in on us. We love you all, and we will see you next week. Love you.
Stay spooky.